Peace, neighbors. Yo, what's poppin' with the population? It's your favorite neighbor, Dayron. Welcome back to the greatest Mo Life show on the planet. Yo, before we get this episode rocking, make sure to do y'all due diligence. Hit that like button. Let me feel your energy and your love in the comments below. You know what I'm saying? Comment neighborhood or neighbor or just some overall love. Let me feel your energy down below in the comments. And y'all already know what I'm about to say next. Subscribe to the neighborhood, man. Subscribe to the neighborhood and not just subscribe to the neighborhood, but spread the word throughout the neighborhood so we could continue to grow the neighborhood one neighbor at a time. You dig? Why you not subscribed to the neighborhood by now? Why you not spreading the word? Knock on your neck. The neighbor next to you, make sure you let them know when your favorite neighbor is dropping. Let them know. Screaming from the top of the balcony. Your neighborhood is in session, you heard? Word. But first and foremost, I want to say Happy Gregorian New Year. As y'all know, I don't really celebrate the Gregorian New Year. I'm more so channeling my energy to celebrating and acknowledging the New Year in the start of spring, which is like March 20th. But with that being said, I usually start my quarterly fasting in January, the beginning of January. Now, had I realized that it was gonna be so cold in January like it has been in Florida, I would have pushed it back to March 20th to March, but or February Marchish. But Ari was in discussions with my lady and my sister on doing it, and being that, and I could have pushed it back if it was just me and my lady doing it, but I already had my sister under the impression that we was gonna start in January, and this was her first time doing an extensive fast, so I ended up just sticking with January because she was so amped. I wrote up a plan for her. She was excited. She was ready to hit the ground running, and I didn't want to kill that joy and passion she was feeling for committing to this fast. But yeah, man, it's been super cold, and that ended up with me, instead of me doing my usual month-long fast, I cut it a week short. Today is what, Monday? The 1st? I believe today is the 1st. No, today's the 3rd. I cut it like 2 Fridays ago. Not last Friday, but the Friday before that. I cut it. I think that was like the 23rd or something like that. That's when I cut it. And I really just mainly cut it because it was unusually cold here in Florida for an unusual amount of time. You feel me? Usually we get spurts of coldness. It usually happens in December. We get like a 2 week long. We get like 2 weeks of cold weather, and then like towards the end of December or like beginning of January, we'll get cold days here and there, but it's usually like cool weather. But it's been cold in the beginning of January, and I'm not rocking with it. And I don't like to do fast when it's cold. It's not even good to be doing fasting when it's cold. That's when it's cold outside. That's when you should be utilizing your cooked food, your warm food, your soups, your stews, stuff of that nature. I was obviously incorporating, herbs and herbal teas, but I was just like, man, I'm out of it, man. I want something savory. I want something like that. I already, what I'm saying, I committed my 3 weeks. I'm like, man, I'm gonna just do another one, and I should have just pushed it back to March, and I'm gonna start doing that. But I already was committed, man. And for those of you who don't know, I do quarterly fasting. There's 4 quarters in a year or a business year, and there's 3 months in a quarter. And out of those 3 months in every quarter, I pick a month and I fast. You know what I'm saying? So, the first quarter is usually Monday. I said Monday. January, February, March. Second is April, May, June. Third, July, August, September, and the last 3 months. So I pick a month out of each quarter and I do a fast. You know what I'm saying? And man, I should have pushed it back, but hey, we here. We did it. Obviously, there's gonna be more throughout the year, and I want to give a big shout out to my lady and my sister, Amanda, my big sister Amanda. I want to clap it up for her. I want us to clap it for her. You feel me? And for them, because they was locked in on this fast. Especially my sister. This is her first time doing a fast. You feel me? A extensive fast. She's usually been struggling with fasting because she never really knew how to approach the fast. she never was really prepared to approach the fast. So when I came through with a plan for her, she was just got super excited and just wanted to. She was so eager to start the fast, and she killed it. She's never went past one day in a fast, and she did 10 days. She was going to only do 1 week, but I told her like, yo, don't have a time frame from when you should break the fast. Let your body discuss like evaluate and analyze how your body's feeling, and let your body tell you when it's ready to break the fast. So she listened to me. The week approached. She was feeling good. She was feeling amazing. She ended up going past that week and pushing it to 3 extra days. She said she was feeling amazing. She's excited for the next one, and I'm so proud of her, man. She pushed the boundaries, man. I just want to tell you, sis, keep going. Keep unlearning and relearning what true health is of the mind, body, spirit, and on a cellular level, and keep pushing the lines, keep unraveling all that cellular trauma you put yourself through and you've been taught to put yourself through. Keep learning what it is that you're putting in your body and being cognitive to what you're putting in your body. Keep thriving to strive for optimal health. You know what I'm saying? On all four levels: mentally, spiritually, physically, and cellularly. And life has so much to offer you. You know what I'm saying? When you got it cracking on all levels, you feel me? And I can't wait to the next fast, and I know you can't wait either. You know what I'm saying? And also, shouts out to my lady. The reason why I'm even making this episode, it's not necessarily about fasting, but it's more so about something that I made to help prepare my lady for breaking the fast. In the neighborhood, we take breaking the fast very seriously, entering and breaking the fast very seriously. So, first day you break the fast, how to eat apples. The second day, I think, was a butternut squash soup. The third day was, I think, a light salad with, like, watery greens like lettuce. And then the fourth day, I believe she wanted a raw kelp noodle salad. I mean, kelp noodle soup. So I was in charge of making the broth, and this is why I want to drop this episode, because I want to highlight the importance of growing your own food, because that broth was amazing, and the reason why it was amazing and over the top to me was because of the freshly grown herbs that I put in that broth. It was amazing. I wish I could show you it. I'm actually going to show you a picture. I took a picture for the thumbnail. I'm going to show you the hue and the color of it. And I may show you me pouring the broth into a stew that my lady made. But, man, that broth was amazing. And like I said, it was the typical veggie broth. I think it had carrots, celery, peppers, garlic, turmeric powder, onion powder, cumin, red onions. And that's about it. Nothing too crazy, the usual. But what took it over the top was those fresh herbs that we grow here in the neighborhood. And I want to highlight the importance of growing your own. When you harvest your first homegrown crop, you're never gonna go back. When you taste the freshness, how just the flavor palette just differs immensely when you compare it to store-bought veggies or produce that you get from the store, how it just differs immensely. You're never gonna go back, or you're gonna limit the amount of produce you get day by day, or that you get and consume day by day, week by week, and eventually by the year. You feel me? The herbal side of it, my mom is more so. These are her herbs that she's grown. I grow my own too, but I'm more so all well rounded. Now I'm not gonna hold you. Mama Nature, she is a beast when it comes to growing her herbs. Like, look, I'm gonna show you right here. Like, you could even see right here her seed starting table that she got. That she's growing some herbs and some veggie fruits. She got her lettuce, her tomatoes, her hot peppers, sage, and the list goes on. You know what I'm saying? And this is basically where she starts her seeds, and then she'll transplant them outside. You feel me? But I want to basically give you guys a slight tour of the herbs that she's grown and the herbs that I put into the broth that took it to the next level, which is honestly super easy to grow and doesn't take that much time. If you have a green thumb, or you feel like if you have a green thumb but don't know where to start, or if you start it but you're not good at it, or if you're just a deadbeat plant parent, you constantly neglect your plants, all these herbs, well, most of these herbs, I'm gonna say most of these herbs, definitely the herbs that I put in that broth, you can grow. Even if you're the greatest deadbeat plant parent that there is, you can still have these crops, these herbs thriving inside, outside, wherever space you occupy. You don't need much to grow them, and they could grow in any climate. They could grow anywhere. And like I said, it doesn't take much to grow them, much space, much time, TLC, and more. Like I said, my mom's a beast when it comes to growing the herbs because that's what she's hyper focused in. I'm more so on everything. I'm gonna show you both of our collections of herbs. I'm more so focused on fruit bearing trees and grafting. I'm gonna get back into growing melons and stuff like that. And I also grow certain herbs as well, but I don't really have the space to go crazy like I want to. You know what I'm saying? Not until I get my own property and stuff like that. But I'm gonna show you my little section that I occupy where I grow my herbs. Again, the collection is gonna continue to grow as I garnish more space and stuff of that nature. All right, neighbor. So you see how beautiful it is and it seems right now. The whole time I was on that damn fast, it was freaking cold, son. And the the very day that I chose to break my fast, I was just over it. I was over it. You know what I'm saying? I was over it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just break my fast. I do plenty of these throughout the year, so I ain't tripping. And that very next day, it was it was nice and cool outside. It was nice and warm, warmer than it has been the whole month that I've been on the fast. And I was like, damn, I could have just kept going. And then, what made matters worse, that following week, it got back to the normal South Florida temperature, which was nice and warm outside and nice and toasty outside. That made me even more hot because I'm like, damn, I could have just kept going with the fast. You heard? That's a valuable lesson. Always keep going, you heard? But I ain't tripping. Again, like I said, I do plenty of fasts throughout the year, so I ain't tripping. Now, I'm gonna show you a plethora of veggies and stuff that we have growing here, but not all these were in the broth. And some of the stuff that I told you was in the broth, I'm gonna show you some of those veggies that we actually grow here, but were not in the broth as well. So the first plant that I got here is this beautiful bell pepper plant. Now again, this is something that my mom is growing, and it is a perennial. Now here, the only ones that I acknowledge right now is perennials and annuals, or that I'm privy to is perennials and annuals. And those are the two types of things that we grow. We mainly stick towards perennials, you feel me? And if you don't know what the difference is, what a perennial crop is and what an annual crop is, and what's the difference between the two is a perennial crop is something that continuously grows. So it has more than one season. An annual is something that literally has one, like after it fruits that one time, you gotta chop it down and it's done. So example of a perennial would be something like this pepper plant over here. You know what I'm saying? My mom has been growing this pepper plant for years, and it's been fruiting all year long for about 2 to 3 years, the same pepper plant. It's been just constantly fruiting peppers all year long. And she has more than one pepper plant and different kind of pepper plants. This is a regular bell pepper plant, and she has also a scotch bonnet that I'm gonna show you as well. Now, example of an annual plant is like a banana. She has banana plants that I'm gonna show you, which is on the other side of the yard. That is more so annual. That is something that will fruit one time or one or two times, and then you have to chop it down and start growing a new one. So I like perennials because they consistently grow over and over again. As opposed, annuals, it's more work because it literally has one season or one time to fruit, and you gotta break it down. You gotta break the whole shit. You gotta tear the whole shit down and start all over again. As opposed, perennials, they literally give you way more time and way more of a harvest, you know, throughout the years to come. Now, all these herbs that I'm about to show you are stuff that my mom's growing. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm growing after. This was not in the veggie broth that I made, but I honestly should have put it in there because this herb is amazing. This is called culantro. If you know, you know. This herb is super fragrant and it's super easy to grow. Couldn't kill it even if you wanted to. These are the buds right here that once they start to dry, you could literally pluck them like this and just throw it in the dirt, and there you go. You got more culantro growing. This right here, she got some mint growing. Now the herbs that took it to the next level: fresh parsley, some rosemary, some sage, some dill, some scotch bonnet, and there's one more herb that I may be forgetting that I may not be able to point out until I see it. But those are the main herbs that I used that just took the veggie broth to the next level, and it's because it was so fresh. And being that it was so fresh, the flavor of the herb was just so strong, and it was just apparent throughout the whole veggie broth. It took it to the next level. Now here's one of those said herbs, which is parsley. Now I promise you, neighbors, once you start growing your own parsley, first of all, let's admire this parsley real quick. She has multiple parsleys growing here. She has this parsley right here. She has this parsley. Look how healthy, green, and grown it's looking. It looks super amazing. It smells amazing, and it tastes amazing. And honestly, the taste of this parsley was so strong. And guess how much of the parsley I used? I literally only took about 2 to 3 stalks off and chopped it up, and the flavor was like I took about a whole handful and put it in there. Honestly, if I would have got it from the store, I would have probably had to do it because, as we know, the store-bought veggies and herbs aren't as, you know, fresh as we like them to be. And there's practices that they use that to keep those things at least still viable on the shelves, able to be purchased on the shelves, you dig? Which I'm not blaming them because they still got to make their money. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's other ways you could go about it. I use some fresh rosemary in there. Amazing. Another herb that is super amazing. And one, when you grow it fresh, I promise you, one, you're not gonna have to use a lot. Two, it's just the flavor palette is just super strong and apparent in whatever you use, whether you use it as a garnish, whether you dry it, or whether you use it fresh. It's the flavor is unmatched when it's freshly grown. You feel me? I also use some scallion in there as well. I use my own scallion though, I didn't use hers. Also, here's some more. This is a tomato plant that she has growing. Forgot to tell you guys that I use sage. Now, here's some beautiful sage that she has growing. It kind of repels the water, so when you look at it when it rains, it kind of looks like it has Swarovski crystals, or just like it's bust down. It's like it's just got diamonds on it. It just looks so beautiful. It literally only took a little stalk, like a few leaves of this, and it was amazing. Here's the fresh dill that she's growing. She's growing multiple dills. She got some strawberry plant that she propagated. I'm gonna show you the mother plant, and I must tell you guys something that's gonna probably blow your minds about strawberry plants as well. Here's some more fresh parsley she's growing. She loves to grow parsley, super easy to grow. And this is a marigold. She likes to do companion growing. She more so does flowers with herbs, but you know, companion growing is very good for if you want to get the most out of a crop. So say for instance, or make sure that that crop is going to fruit for you. So say for instance, you know, if you grow certain crops together, one will help repel the other crop from insects. If you put a garlic with a bell pepper, right, plant, or a garlic with Swiss chard, the garlic is going to aerate the soil, and the smell of the garlic is going to repel insects from messing with that bell pepper, that cucumber, a squash, or whatever of that nature that you pair with. Now, that bell pepper plant or that squash is going to help keep that soil nice and cool because the leaves grow nice and vast, you know what I'm saying? So that's a slight example of, you know, companion growing and why, and you know, the benefits of companion growing as well. Also, like I said, she got a marigold growing here. Here's a beautiful oregano plant. I don't know if you can see that bee. Where's the bee? I just seen a bee. Oh man, there's a bee. Oh, you see that beautiful bee just pollinating this oregano. She got more dill growing with this beautiful, strong, vibrant celery. Now, I grow celery as well as her, But I literally just cut off the bottom half of the celery and planted it, as suppose hers is from seed. The thing about celery that I like is celery is one of those perennial veggies that you can continuously grow. All you have to do is just chop it off and leave the root in the bottom, and you'll be able to harvest it a few times over. She got some beautiful, amazing basil growing over here that is more than likely ready to be harvested before the bugs get to it. She got some cilantro growing. She got some chives. She got some more oregano growing, more basil. This is a pepper plant that's not fruiting right now. This may be ready to be scrapped. One herb that I did forget is Spanish thyme. Here's that Spanish thyme. She got some Spanish thyme growing. Now this plant she has growing all over the yard. You know what I'm saying? She's starting to propagate it and starting to grow it all over the yard. Smells amazing, tastes amazing, and the flavor is just so bold and strong. It's just amazing. I literally took about 2 leaves off this, put it into the veggie broth, and the flavor was so strong throughout the veggie broth. It's just amazing. Like, I'm telling you guys, when you start growing your own veggies, man, you're really not gonna have to use that much. You know, like you think you gotta use a lot of herbs in your veggie broths or in your dishes when you buy it from the store, because remember, when you get it from the store, a lot of the flavor component is going to be kind of like watered down, because again, you don't know how long they had this said herb or veggie on the shelves, and you don't know what practices they use to preserve it. So they may put chemicals on it, they may do something with the dirt, they may do something that, which in defense, they're trying to, you know, keep the shelf life of it going, but it's going to lack in other areas like the taste or the health benefits and so forth. Listen, that's the importance of growing your own, because you could grow something, you know the source, where it came from, how it was grown, the love that was put into it, and two, you're never going to lack on that flavor component. I promise you. And when you grow your own, less is more. When you're harvesting it, less is going to be more. And for certain herbs and veggies, you don't have to worry about it going bad when it's ready to harvest, because you can kind of ride it out with certain veggies, playing it by eye, as long as you're keeping it attached to the plant itself. You know, now when you harvest it, when you cut it, when you detach it from the plant, then that's when you have a time frame for when you got to use this plant, when you got to use this herb, you know, or do certain practices to preserve it much longer than when you first harvest it, you dig? Now, back to these veggie fruits and herbs. Here's one that I did use. I literally picked off the tree itself. But this is a beautiful Scotch bonnet pepper, man. Beautiful Scotch bonnet pepper. And I promise you, once you grow your own Scotch bonnets, you will never go back to the store bought. I promise you won't. And it's one of those fruits that you literally can cut off and have it on the shelf or in the fridge for a cool minute before it goes bad. And it's super easy to grow. When I get to a place or said space where I could have much more room to grow my own and vast amounts, and maybe offer a service where I'm selling these said things to the neighborhood, peppers is gonna be one of those plants or veggie fruits that I will offer to the people. Why? Because one, it's a perennial, so it's gonna give me more than one harvest season. Two, it has one of the best profit margins when it comes to selling fruits and veggie fruits and stuff of that nature, because one, you know, the shelf life of it could last long. You could harvest it. You don't have to wait till it turns a said color to harvest it. You could literally harvest it when it's green, and it can still change colors. And not only that, but just the profit margin is super wide when it comes to selling peppers. Not only that, but you don't have to, when you grow certain peppers, can't think of the name, certain peppers, there's certain peppers that, you know, when you grow them, they are more resistant to, you know, disease or, you know, bugs. If you ever want to get into growing your own food and selling it, you should definitely look into peppers. She also has a big pineapple nursery right here that she loves. She loves to grow pineapples. And pineapples are super easy to grow. Cut off the top, just pluck a few of those leaves off and plant it into some dirt First, you could put it in some water, let the roots grow, and then you could plant it into the dirt. And about a year or two, you'll see beautiful, amazingly sweet pineapple fruiting in your backyard, on your patio, wherever. Also, she has some more pepper plants. She has some cucumber growing in this pot over here that I actually harvested. And man, it makes me really want to get back into growing melons. Even though I just mentioned a cucumber, that's what that is. A cucumber is a melon, and it's a vine, you know what I'm saying? And it's definitely one of those easier melons to grow. And not only that, but it really made me really appreciate a homegrown melon, you know what I'm saying? When I tried that melon and compared it to a store-bought melon, even though the size didn't really compare, the taste didn't compare on the other hand. Like the homegrown veggie that I harvested from the backyard was super, just it just tasted untainted. Tasted so fresh, so untainted. It tastes just very juicy. It just was amazing, man. I couldn't believe it when I tried it. It put that fire back in me to want to grow some more melons. Now I just gotta find the spacing and where to put it, but that's another project that I'm going to put forth is growing my own melons. So I'm getting back into growing cantaloupes. Getting back into growing watermelons, honeydews, cucumbers, and stuff of that nature. And I can't wait. And stay tuned for that because it's coming. I did skip over this and I wanted to show you this beautiful, vibrant looking strawberry bush that she got from the store. Now look, you can see one strawberry growing. Now it's not that big and it looks like it has been getting eaten up or it's like getting mold on it. But yeah, she got this from the store. And one thing about strawberries that may be a misconception, people always think they gotta harvest it from the seed. You literally don't have to secure some seeds to grow multiple strawberry fruits. Original seeds that you grow, you wanna grow that to becoming a mature strawberry bush, and literally you have a gold mine of many different strawberry bushes. Because all you will have to do is literally take out whatever vine that's poking out, you put a pot next to it or put it by some dirt, make sure it's submerged into the dirt, and once it starts to take root, all you have to do is literally cut off the vine that's connected and you'll have a whole nother strawberry bush. This is why she has so many strawberry bushes growing, because she literally just propagates it from this one bush. From one strawberry bush, you could literally have several handfuls of mini strawberry bushes, which will soon become, big strawberry bushes that will harvest you many strawberries. And they don't take that long to grow strawberries either. Don't quote me on this. Take about a few months. I would say like 3 to 6 months until you can harvest it. Now, neighbors, I done showed you mostly herbs and vegetation that Mama Nature's growing. Now, let me show you the herbs and vegetation that nature is growing. You feel me? This just got relocated. First, I want to show you my key lime tree that's doing pretty well. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but this is my grow bag, and the bulk of what's in this grow bag is arugula. Damn, I'm sweating because it's dumb hot. That's one of the go-to veggies that I've been having for a few years. I have plenty of arugula seeds, and I've just been, planting them every now and then. I also have some good scallions that I've been harvesting. Here, all I did literally is whatever organic scallion that I bought from the store, I literally just cut it, put it in some water, waited to root it, and then I planted it in my grow bag. Remember when I told you about that celery? This is the celery right here. I'm trying to make sure that light can hit it. But yeah, this is the celery. I got 3 celery stalks here, and it's starting to shoot up. All you have to do to continuously grow celery, you don't have to constantly buy new celery. You can literally cut off this once it's fully grown. I'm gonna show you over here because the lighting over there is kind of bad to show you an example of it. All you have to do is cut off the celery from right here. You want to cut it off from right here. You don't want to go too low, but literally start to grow more celery. And you could do that several times over. You could probably stretch it to doing it about 3 to 4 times, maybe more than that. You could push the lines with it. You feel me? I also have some callaloo growing here too, but there was a pest, some type of pest. I don't know what. I didn't catch the culprit. He was in here dogging my callaloo. So my next project for when I grow my callaloo, I'm gonna make sure I grow it inside, or when I grow it outside, I'm gonna put a net over it so that the said pest doesn't, dog them. I can't wait to start growing some callaloo again. I love callaloo. Shouts out to all my people from the islands. If you know, you know. The islands call it callaloo, but the scientific name is called amaranth greens. If you didn't know. I don't know if you guys know this or if you see this shoot clearly, but these are all shoots. These are all shoots. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These shoots are indeed ginger. Yes, this is ginger. This is not my first time growing ginger, but this is my first time growing ginger in this amount, And you could start to see that, the dirt is starting to separate. That's just letting me know that my ginger down there is starting to get big. So it's starting to crack. The dirt, the soil is starting to crack, and that's because the ginger down there is starting to get big. So it's occupying a lot of space, which is showing on the top of the dirt. So I know that my ginger is starting to get big. Now, when you're growing roots, you obviously sometimes you may get in a sad situation, right, where you may be growing a bunch of herbs next to each other, right? And you may forget what herb that you grow. Now, the easiest way to identify what herb you're growing, all you have to do, literally, neighbors, is take a leaf off like this and smell it, and that will tell you what you're growing. And a lot of these herbs, especially like ginger, your gingers, your turmeric, your garlic, they're gonna have a very fragrant smell. You feel me? They're gonna have a super fragrant smell. Like you're gonna smell it from the moment you walk near it. You're gonna smell it. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. So if you can smell it from a few steps away, or if you're in the area, you're definitely going to be able to smell the leaf and know what you're growing. Like sometimes that happens to me. Like even when I grow my key limes, Myers lemons, oranges, grapefruits around each other. One time I had it all mixed up and I forgot which was which. Now the way I was able to tell was by smelling the leaf. I took a leaf off, broke it up, and smelt it, and it would literally, that's from smelling it, I could tell which one it was because it had either a grapefruit smell, it had a key lime smell, or it had a lemon. Now it gets more tricky when you have like a lemon, a Meyer lemon, and a different kind of lemon, or a regular lime and a key lime, because they kind of have the same smell. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference, to be honest. In this area right here, it kind of looks like mold. I ain't gonna hold you, neighbors. I ain't gonna hold you. This right here kind of looks like mold, but it's not. It's about to start giving me some more seeds. All I have in my grow bag for right now is a bunch of arugula, some ginger, some celery, and some scallions. Again, I had some callaloo growing, but there was a pest that was just straight up dogging my callaloo, so I'm kind of mad about that. It would have been lovely to harvest some callaloo, man. I love having callaloo with some stew or something. My lady, she's Jamaican, so you know what I'm saying? Like, she know how to whip up that callaloo, you heard? But yeah, man. I can't wait to start venturing more into growing more herbs. I just gotta find the set space. I do have another grow bag that's big like that, so it's going to be very soon, and I can't wait. But yo, it's super easy to grow your own herbs. Super easy. Like it's so easy to grow your herbs. It's funny. It's very comical because a lot of you guys, you may complain. You may say like, oh, I don't have the set space, or I don't live in a tropical place or a hot place. But honestly, neighbors, I'm gonna keep it funky with you, neighbors. Like real talk, you don't need a big space to occupy to grow your own herbs. Literally, all the herbs that I just showed you do not occupy a lot of space. They're all grown in pots. You could literally start off with one, and that one could turn into, hundreds. You never know. Hundreds of annuals that's feeding you throughout the year. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? They're super easy to grow. You could be the greatest of deadbeat plant parents and still have these herbs and veggies growing and your backyard or on your porch or on your balcony, whatever space you may occupy. All you need is a base for the plant to grow in, like something like a pot or like a box. Put some dirt in it, or if you don't want to touch the dirt and stuff like that, you go soilless planting. You could go the aquaponic route, which is growing your plants in water. You can grow your plants in some peat moss, grow your plants in some lava rocks. There's no excuse for why you can't grow your own, other than you just don't want to. You know what I'm saying? And I promise you, once you start growing your own, you're never gonna go back. You know what I'm saying? And again, it doesn't matter where you live, you could grow herbs. Now, when you get into your fruit-bearing trees, that's when climate has a say-so in it. But when you're growing your own herbs and veggies, you don't need to grow it in ground, and it doesn't matter the climate you're in. It just depends on the severity of the weather. Like, say for instance, if you're living in New York or Canada, right? Somewhere it gets cold, snowstorms, stuff like that. You may have to just for a few months, when it's a snowstorm or super cold, just take your crop and bring it inside. When the sun comes back out, when it's nice, cool, spring type weather, bring your plants right back outside. If you live in a place where it gets really hot or it's tropical, like where the plant could potentially get a lot of direct sunlight, like Florida, or a lot of dry heat, like Arizona, create an area where it could get shade, you know, or you could bring it inside, or you could put a net over it, you know, or like I said, you could create an area for it where it's not getting crazy direct sunlight. You feel me? So it really just depends on you and what you're willing to do. And honestly, neighbors, you really don't have to dedicate a lot of time every day. You know what I'm saying? You could create a water system where you could literally water for 30 minutes every day or every other day. The amount of time that you have to dedicate to gardening, especially when it comes to your herbs, stuff that need little TLC, all you have to dedicate is literally an hour to a week. You know? And your plants could be out here thriving, man. It really is on autopilot. You know, God made these plants and these herbs on to take care of themselves, or made them super low maintenance where you don't have to do too much. You feel me? Now, in the beginning stages, when you're growing it from seed, and in the seedling stages, that's where you got to be more attentive to it. But once it starts to grow, once it grows a little bit more, then a little bit more after that seedling stage, you're in the money. You're good. Stop overthinking the process, man. Let's get outside. Let's get to growing so our health to get to glowing. I can't wait to see you on your journey. Let me know, man. If you're growing some of these crops, let me know how it's going for you. Let me know how they're thriving in your possession. You feel me? Let me know what dishes you're making of it. Let me know if you agree with the whole memo of growing your own. The crops that you're harvesting from your backyard differs a lot from the produce that you're getting from these said stores. Whether organic or not, it's a huge difference, neighbors. And you're going to be able to taste it. And that's why I can't wait for you guys to start getting outside and get growing. You'll start to have a much more appreciation for what you're growing and the stuff that you're putting in your body. And you'll start to vet where you're getting your stuff from. You know what I'm saying? That's where the change starts to happen. That's where the paradigm just starts to shift. You know what I'm saying? That's where your health starts to look better internally, mentally, spiritually. You know what I'm saying? That's when you start to get spiritually in tune. There's not too many greater experiences than when you're outside in nature growing your own. It's funny, it's fun, it's a learning curve. It teaches you patience, it teaches you resilience, diligence, consistency. You know what I'm saying? Teaches you a whole nine. That's why I like gardening, and that's why I want to share this journey with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So, man, make sure to do your due diligence. Make sure to go follow me on all my socials. Make sure to give this episode a like. Make sure to comment neighbor, or your said growing journey. I'd love to hear in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button below, and let's continue to grow this neighborhood. Let's continue to grow this channel one neighbor at a time. Stay tuned for everything that we got coming, from episodes to new plants on the horizon, because I know y'all know that your favorite neighbor has his own nursery where we grow all trees from seed, and we're getting into grafted trees, and we're offering them to the people, not only to buy, but also, we're going to be doing some giveaways soon. You know what I'm saying? We may be coming, knocking on the door, and just giving you a plant. And not just giving you a plant, but putting that plant in the dirt for you, choosing out a nice set area for you to plant this plant, and, give you some tips and steps and accessibility of knowledge, so that you can then have this plant, this tree, this crop, this herb doing amazing in your possession, in your space, in your place. Yeah, get to growing so your health could get to glowing. Y'all already know the #1 neighborhood motto, and that's grow your own / support true righteous local growers, or continue to rely on a broken system to supply you their own. And again, Can't say this enough. We already know what their own comes with. No need to state it because we relate. We relate to it. You dig? So let's get to it. To get through it. Peace, love, light, much healing energy to you and yours. It's your favorite neighbor. See you on the next one. You dig?